Ghost in the Porcelain, Melissa R. Mendelson. Chapter 1. The curse didn't start with me. I tried to stop it. You let it out. I know. I'm sorry. Sorry doesn't cut it. But he could tell that she was sorry. How was she supposed to know? And now her sister was gone, just like with his daughter. You didn't know. My daughter didn't either. There was nothing that he could say to her, nothing that could ease her pain or his. And the world would think them crazy if they tried to explain what really happened. The best thing to do was to leave it alone. Go home. Well, at least she could, but the antique store was his home. But now that the curse was free again, there was no reason to stay here, so he was selling the place. And he always hated this place, but his wife loved it, and that thought broke his heart. Mold and cedar were always the perfume of this antique store. For some reason today it reminded him of his poker days, but those smells were of cigars and whiskey. Those were the good old days with laughter and conversation and the boys from his old neighborhood, but most of them were gone now. And he was left behind way before that, and all those fond memories burned into the green, stained carpeting under his feet. He reached for a bookshelf nearby, knocking some wooden soldiers to the floor, and he wondered why hadn't the towering bookshelves cracked already and fallen into the aisles. The place was so clustered with statues and cups and books, tons of old books, and with one wrong move the place would fall like dominoes. But his wife loved it. And after what had happened, he could have sworn that he felt her here, which is why he made the antique store his home. And he could not return to his real home with what happened there, but it was time to leave. It was time to leave this antique store and the town behind. He was done, and he had failed. He had failed his wife and his daughter, and he had failed that young woman outside. Now he would meet defeat at an old age home until he, too, was finally released, and his gaze fell upon a dusty little monkey nearby that used to clap its cymbals. His daughter used to love that toy, and if he was going to take anything with him to the old age home, it should be that toy. Instead, he took it to the back of the store, where there were no more bookshelves or posters or portraits or knick-knack crap. There was just the large, empty display case where he had left her. And without thinking about it, he gently placed the little monkey with its symbols on top of it. He stared at the empty display case for a long time. He used to spend many hours just sitting here, looking at her. They would stare at each other and not say a word, and neither one of them would blink. But then she would start to cry, and he couldn't do anything to help her. It was too late. All he could do was touch the scratches in the glass, which she had made when she was angry. He just never realized until after she was gone that she had sliced a small portion of the glass away. She could have escaped any time, but she stayed. Did she stay for him? Or did she know that a young girl would walk in one day and find her, never realizing the evil that she would release out into the world? "You can't stop this thing, Paige," he said to himself. "No one can stop it."